Hello students, welcome back to English with Lucy. It's really nice to be back. I had a little rest. I really needed a rest and I had it and it was brilliant. We went on our honeymoon, which is the first holiday that you have as a married couple. It was great, but I will tell you more about that on the personal channel, Lucy Bella. I'll link it down below. Today, we've got far more important things to talk about than my holidays. We are going to be talking about causative verbs. In particular, have, make, get, help, and let. We use these 5 verbs with causative structures, meaning that we use them to say that someone or something causes something to happen. They are essential and they are often a sticking point with students, a point of frustration. Well, I've got you. Don't worry, I've got you in this lesson. If I say I've got you, or really slang, I got you, it means I'll support you. Don't worry, I've got this for you. You don't have to worry about it. I'm going to help you. And to make things even more exciting, there is also a free PDF that goes with this lesson with a quiz so you can practice what you learned today. If you'd like that free PDF, all you've got to do is click on the link in the description box, enter your name and your email address, you sign up to my mailing list, the PDF will arrive in your inbox straight away, and then every week after that you'll automatically receive all of my lesson PDFs, along with all of my news, course updates and offers. Another bit of housekeeping. Housekeeping used in this context means something that we have to clear out of the way before we get started with the real information. So to use that again, one final bit of housekeeping, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Lingoda. You can attend Lingoda, your new language school, from the comfort of your own home, 24/7, at your own pace. Cut the travel time, not the quality. Lingoda has an interactive curriculum, average class sizes of just 3 to 4 students, and amazing qualified teachers. Trust me, I've tried them out myself. I love them. You can learn English, business English, along with Spanish, French and German, and group class prices start from just €6. You can explore various different study options. They've got lots of different plans you can sign up for. You can experience a 7-day free trial. That's 1 week's access with 3 entirely free classes. Just click on the link in the description box to sign up for your 7-day free trial, and you can get 40% off your first marathon course or month. It's as easy as that. Just click on the link in the description box to sign up for your free trial and claim your discount. Right, let's get started with the causative verbs. As I said before, we're looking at 5 verbs that we use with causative structures, and we use them to say that someone or something causes something to happen. Let's have some examples. I had my hair cut. I had my hair cut. When I go to the hairdressers, I have my hair cut. In some languages, it would be normal to say, I cut my hair. And you can say this in English. But to be extra clear that you didn't cut it yourself, I had my hair cut. Another example, my parents made me clean my room. My parents made me clean my room. Let's go into a little bit more detail because each verb is different. But one thing to note is that you can use the causative verbs in all of the past, present and future tenses. Let's take a deeper look at have. Now there are 2 ways that we can use have as a causative verb. The first way is to say that someone does something for us. We generally use this construction when somebody performs a service for us or on us. The structure is subject, have, object, past participle. So following that structure, we have Claire loves having her photo taken. Subject, have in its correct form. Object, past participle. Claire loves having her photo taken. Claire isn't taking the photos herself, someone else is performing that service for Claire. Another, Kurt never has his car cleaned. Kurt never has his car cleaned. Don't judge Kurt, students. Maybe he cleans it himself. It's a very sensible thing to do. 2 more examples. I had my makeup done. And the last one, Ben is having his house painted. Ben is having his house painted. So in all of these sentences, the subject doesn't perform the action, someone else does it. You'll notice that we're not saying who performs the action, and this is normally because it's obvious: the hairdresser, the house painter. In fact, we wouldn't say house painter, we'd say decorator, painter and decorator. We might also not say who's performed the action because it simply isn't important. This is the same as when we use the passive voice. Let me know if you'd like a video on the passive voice, because I've seen a couple of requests for it, and I think it would be a really good video to do. It might help quite a few of you. Comment down below if I see enough requests. I will consider it. Now, I like these sentences, these causative sentences, because to change the tense of a sentence, you only have to change the tense of the causative verb. Now, interestingly, we can replace have with get in informal situations. This is very, very common. I use this all the time. Instead of Tara had her car repaired, it's just fine to say Tara got her car repaired. Instead of Ben has his house cleaned, Ben gets his house cleaned. Do you get your house cleaned? I always get my house cleaned. Let's look at the second way in which we can use have as a causative verb. This is very similar, but in this case, we do say who performs the action. It doesn't have to be describing a paid service, but it very often is. The structure is slightly different. Let's take a look. It's subject, have, person, infinitive. An example: I'll have Jane call you. I'll have Jane call you. This is something a boss might say about their secretary, who in this case is Jane. It makes the person sound quite important. Or a mother might use it about their children. I had my children clean their rooms. I had my children clean their rooms. I will say it does sound rather formal, but if you're wanting to give off quite an important vibe, a vibe of importance, then it could be a really good one to use. Remember to use the infinitive after the person. You don't need to conjugate the verb. Again, you only need to conjugate the causative verb. Let's take a look at some more examples. Mary had her assistant call the catering company. Or, I'll have my husband email you the details. I'll have my husband email you the details. I'm not sure how my husband would feel about me having him do something. I think I'd just ask him nicely. I hope that's clear. Remember that there are lots more exercises and examples in the PDF. Let's move on to get now. Now, when you get someone to do something, it means you persuade them to do something. The structure is subject, get, person to infinitive. An example: I got my son to cook dinner because I was tired. I persuaded him to do it. Or, Helen got the mechanic to check the whole engine. Maybe the mechanic appeared reluctant to check the whole engine at first, but she got him to do it. She persuaded him to do it. Good old Helen. When you say good old someone, it's a term of affection. Oh, good old Lucy. I know I'm not necessarily old in most people's eyes, but my mum always says, oh, good old Lucy, always stacking the dishwasher. I can't think of another example. I do often stack the dishwasher for my mum. Such a good daughter. I like get in this form, to get someone to do something. It's easy to learn and it's easy to use. I think it's a really good one. A couple more examples. I got Julianne to come to the doctor's with me. Maybe she didn't want to before. She was reluctant. Or, my dad got all of his friends to come with him to my performance. Good old dad. See, that's used in context. Let's move on to make. This causative verb is used to say that we forced someone or something to do something. We forced them to do something that they didn't want to do. The structure is subject, make, object, infinitive. An example: she made me watch a horror film. I didn't want to watch it, but she forced me to do it. Or, I make my children do their homework before dinner. They'd probably prefer to do it after dinner. Or never, but I force them to do it before dinner. So we have get, which is persuading someone, and make, which is forcing someone. It doesn't always have to be really negative. For example, I make people take their shoes off before they come in my house. This is understandable. I'm not necessarily forcing them, but I am obliging them to do it. Or, the teacher made me change the title of my essay. They obligated me to do it. Cool, we're flying through these. Let's move on to let. When we use let as a causative verb, it means that we allow someone to do something, or we give them permission. The structure is subject, let, object, infinitive. Are you noticing a trend here? There is quite a strong trend. An example, my parents let their grandchildren stay up as long as they want. They allow them, they give them permission to. Or, I let the grass grow very long and now it's difficult to cut. Another example, please don't let the cat into my bedroom. This has been my life recently. We've moved house, as you might be able to tell by the new background, and because so many of you complained that it was dark and dreary. I'm not sure if you used the word dreary, but dreary is bleak, grey, depressing. Great word, dreary. Because so many of you complained, I got some lights and I went crazy with them. Look how many lights. There are lights coming out in all directions. I bet I'm now going to get complaints about the lights as well. I don't care. I just like the interaction. Let me know what you want next. As I was saying, we've moved house and the cat just got so angry about the change that he did I'm sure you can imagine, on our bed as a protest. We were not happy and he was trying to tell us he wasn't happy. Oh dear. You'll be pleased to know that Alfonso is now once again a happy cat, but those first 2 weeks where he wasn't allowed outside were smelly. Right. Let's move on to the final one. This is help. I'm sure many of you will know this word by now. To help means to assist someone. The structure when we use help as a causative verb is as follows: subject, help, object, infinitive, or to infinitive. We can create sentences with or without to, and the meaning doesn't change. I know that that's a common doubt that gets brought up in a lot of classes, so I'll show you some examples of that so you can see it for yourself. My mum will help me decorate my flat. Or my mum will help me to decorate my flat. Same meaning. It doesn't matter whether you include it or not. I helped my friend move house. I helped my friend to move house. Now, I would say it's more common to leave out the to, simply because it's more efficient, fewer syllables. We like to go for things that are easy to say. Music helps me fall asleep. Music helps me to fall asleep. We don't need that extra syllable. Now, you can use the extra syllable if you like syllables. That brings us to the end of this lesson. And now I'd like to invite you to test your understanding by downloading the PDF. There's a quiz at the bottom. The answers are there too, so you can check your work. Definitely share your score in the comments section though. I'd like to see how you've understood today's lesson. Just as a reminder, if you want that PDF, you sign up to my mailing list. The link's in the description box. You'll receive this week's PDF, and then each week you will receive future PDFs. It's a free service. You'll also receive all of my news, offers, and course information. Another reminder, if you'd like to try Lingoda for free for 7 days, that's 3 free classes, and get 40% off your first marathon course or your first month, then just click on the link in the description box. Don't forget to connect with me on all of my social media. I've got my Facebook, my Instagram, and my personal channel, Lucy Bella, where I show vlogs of our life here in the English countryside. Newlywed life, how exciting. That's all for now. I will see you soon for another lesson. Mwah.